the Edmonton Oilers drop Game 3 and go down in the series 2-1. There was a lot of this stuff in this game to take away from, look back on, but we're going to be talking about the obvious, what the real issue was in this game, as well as being the main issue, and as well as the incidents, we'll say, that happened at the end of the game involving Connor McDavid. But before we get into all of this news here, we noticed that 94% of you guys watching right now are not subscribed to the channel. If you're looking for a spot to get all of your Edmonton Oilers news, you're in the right spot. Make sure to hit the sub button. Join us here as we cover everything this team has to offer throughout these playoffs, as well as a very busy offseason for this team. But like I said, let's get straight into the first topic here. The Oilers need to make a change. Now, I'm not going to be talking about exactly what that change is just this second, but I'm sure you'll know what it is when I pull up the box score. And, for the pretty obvious part, just have a look at the bottom and you'll probably get the hint. Stuart Skinner, not a great game here in this one. Certainly wasn't the ideal situation for the Edmonton Oilers with him in net here in this game, especially outshooting the Vancouver Canucks 45-18 in this game, and I believe 30-something to 4, or around that, or 7, or something, in the last two periods. So, really shows that the Edmonton Oilers definitely had an upper hand in this game, although they didn't pull out the win. But another great game from Leon Draisaitl, goal and assist, 29 minutes time on ice once again, as well as Connor McDavid's 29.4. It's a pretty good game for both of these guys. However, it wasn't the perfect game for them, but we move on from that. We have a full series left, pretty much. It's only 2-1. Nothing that you can't overcome, but I'm very excited to see where this series goes after. I'll pull up the stat card here now as well. And we also have our usual suspects being pretty good on this list in Leon Draisaitl, Evan Bouchard, Mattias Ekholm, the rest of the guys. A pretty tough game for Connor McDavid regarding on this stat card, as well as the two usual the bottom feeders, Darnell Nurse and Cody Ceci. Both, once again, not great on the offense and or defense at all in this playoff series. But let's move on to, I'm sure, what many of you have been waiting for me to talk about, as well as just waiting for a bunch of news on. And that's regarding this whole McDavid post-game situation. The double cross-check resulting in the fine, and as of moments ago, a suspension for Carson Soucy. And now, before I have the video here, and I will show you guys, but before this, I don't think there's any intent for that cross-check to the face from Carson Soucy. I don't think he was expecting Nikita Zadorov to cross-check McDavid for him to fall over on that and whatnot. So it is just a situation where it's very unlucky the way it happened. However, it is the right call at this point, although it may not have been fully intentional to, the face area. And I'll pull it up here to let you guys play through it. But as you can see, just a very unlucky situation for Carson Soucy, but as well as McDavid. Happy that McDavid gets up right away. After that could have been pretty nasty, but once again, it was a fine for Zadorov, $5,000, and a one-game suspension for Carson Soucy, from what we know from this. And resulting in this play after the game, we didn't see too much extracurriculars. Since the game was over, the guys on the bench kind of went on, but we didn't see anybody retaliate. After that, I'll pull it up once again. You can see, after this, there was not really anybody that went after Carson Soucy or Zadorov or anybody, apart from the crowding around as it always does. But really, the big thing from this, just nobody went after them for going after the top dog on this team, and likely, something bad could have happened. They didn't really know right away from what could have happened, but however, nobody went after him. A big thing that a lot of people are talking about, as well as Dustin Nielsen here, as well, from TSN 1260, says, regardless of the fines, etc., as a team, the Oilers can't simply gloss over this in Game 4. There has to be some sort of response either on these two guys, or Hughes, Pettersson, or Besser. Now, I'm not for going after other players. However, you definitely got to give them a bump or something. Let them know that you didn't like what happened to their captain. You don't want to go chasing nothing dirty. Obviously, that results in suspension. That way, could completely end your playoff season, or your playoff hopes, your playoff series, whatnot. So no dirty stuff, but definitely let them know you acknowledge what happened after the game, and just that, we're there. We're keeping an eye on you guys. We know what happened to McDavid, and we're not going to let it happen again. And that's really one thing I think the Oilers need to take in the next game. Go out here, get another big win. Go out, use this momentum, and really just sink the Vancouver Canucks here in one of these games. You really need to do that after what we had seen there in that game. But let's move on to, the real killer in this game for the Edmonton Oilers is the goaltending. Frankly, it has been terrible. You want to say that's been good. You want to say that the Edmonton Oilers finally seem to have their guy in Stuart Skinner, but that simply isn't the case. Frank Cervalli put it the best that anybody really could. So, that sound you hear is the Oilers Stanley Cup's hopes swirling because it's not possible to win with this goaltending. Stuart Skinner has been one of the worst playoff goalies of the salary cap era, and it's no longer a small sample size. And he's right, he's right. That is really the best way to describe it, is that Stuart Skinner really has not been a viable option for the Edmonton Oilers if they wanted to go on a deeper playoff run. And now, we know Stuart Skinner is not that starting goalie that people expect to go through the playoffs with 1 or 2 losses, a .920, .930 save percentage, but he should be good enough to be able to get you the wins when you need them in certain scenarios like this, when you're leading the game in, 45-18 in shots or whatever it was. You should be able to have that game locked with your goaltending and your offense working as a tandem. But however, we haven't been able to see that this season. This playoff series in specific with Stuart Skinner. And you can see here his 2 last postseasons for this season and last season, with a combined game total of 20. He's had 349 goals against and a .881 save percentage. And those stats are not very good. I'm sure many of you know, but for those who don't understand the stats, really anything below 900 save percentage is really bad. Anything below 3 or above 3 in the goals against is not great either. And Stuart Skinner has well exceeded the limit for being bad on both of these categories. So what do the Edmonton Oilers need to do? Do they run with Calvin Pickard next game, who came into this game for the third period? Do they start Stuart Skinner again in hopes that he'll turn it around magically? But I really don't think that Stuart Skinner is a viable option right now. I think that you're going to have to try Calvin Pickard next game, even though there is a very, very high risk of what could happen. A high risk of, potentially losing a game, of him being cold and whatnot. However, I really think that Stuart Skinner right now needs a break. He needs to sit down, look at it, take a breath, and just look at the game from a third person's perspective. Watch the game from the bench. Watch the Vancouver's guys, who carries the puck, who shoots the puck, who's the quarterback on the power play and whatnot, and really just be able to take note and learn about this team more and more. Just give them another opportunity to start, because as Frank Cervalli said here on this tweet, the cup hopes are swirling for the Edmonton Oilers, a lot due to their goaltending. Although there isn't really much they can do with it now, they're going to need to roll with it, and they're going to need to make some changes. So let me know what you guys think the changes on the goaltending side of things should be made for the Edmonton Oilers. As well as let me know, do you think a 1-game suspension, a $5,000 fine, is enough for those 2 Vancouver defensemen after the result that happened to McDavid? A lot of stuff going down in Edmonton territory right now, and we need a big next game. So let's hope we get a big turnaround game, a big offensive game like we've seen in this one, and some solid goaltending to steal a win from the Vancouver Canucks. But like I said, let me know what you think about all this stuff. That's all I got here in this video. If you enjoy, make sure to give it a like. Hit the sub button as well if you did enjoy. But like I said, I'm signing out. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.